Welcome back! My name is ballerscuba. This is Video Games Over Time. We are still in 1986. Today, we're going to talk about Kid Icarus. The story of Kid Icarus takes us back to Nintendo. We have talked about Nintendo several times before. They have been responsible for the Mario franchise, Ice Climber, and The Legend of Zelda. We last talked about Nintendo in our video on Metroid. For Kid Icarus, Nintendo turned to Toru Osawa. Toru Osawa was hired by Nintendo in 1985. Kid Icarus was the first game he worked on. While he did work largely by himself, Osawa would receive support from Nintendo R&D 1, who had created Metroid, once Metroid had finished. Satoru Okada would direct, with Gunpei Yokoi producing. Yoshio Sakamoto would help design Kid Icarus, and Makoto Kano would help with the concept design. Hirokazu Tanaka would create the music for the game. Toru Osawa wanted to create an action game with role-playing elements. He was fond of Greek mythology, so developed the game around that. He had originally intended for the game to be serious, but after the rest of the team joined, more humorous elements were added to the game. The team would have to work overtime to get the game completed on time. It is said much of the team had to sleep in the office to meet the deadline. The game was finished just 3 days before the release date, entering production just in time. Kid Icarus is a platform game. The player plays as Pit, who is equipped with a bow and unlimited arrows in Angel Land. Pit's ultimate goal is to make it through the stages of the game, the Underworld, the Overworld, and the Sky World to collect 3 sacred treasures. Once all 3 sacred treasures are collected, the player will make it to the 4th and final stage, the Sky Temple, to defeat Medusa and save Palutena. Along the way, Kid Icarus can upgrade his bow and arrows and increase his health. The game tracks how many points the player earns in a stage and will increase the player's health accordingly. Enemies found along the way will drop hearts, which can be used to purchase items. In many versions of the game, Kid Icarus has 5 different endings depending on how the player plays. However, in the original Japanese version of the game, the best ending is not present, and players can instead get a 5th worst ending. Nintendo released Kid Icarus to the Famicom Disk System on December 19, 1986. In Japan, the game is known as Hikari Shinwa, Palutena no Kagami, or Light Myth, Palutena's Mirror. That is a brief backstory to Kid Icarus. With that told, it's time to take a look at the game's manual. It reads, The Tale of Kid Icarus. Let us go back to the distant past, to an age when the gods and man lived together in harmony. There was once a kingdom called Angel Land. This kingdom was ruled by 2 beautiful goddesses, Palutena, who administered light, and Medusa, who ruled darkness. Palutena lived in the palace in the sky, and administered light so that man could live in happiness. And bathed in this light, man grew food and lived in peace. However, Medusa, the goddess of darkness, was different. Medusa hated mankind. She took great pleasure in drying up the crops that man took great pains to grow, and in turning people into stone statues. In her anger, Palutena changed Medusa into an ugly monster and banished her to the deep, dark underworld. For being changed into this ugly monster and forced to live in the underworld, Medusa promised to take over the palace in the sky where Palutena lived. So great was Medusa's anger that she joined forces with the monsters and evil spirits of the underworld, and Medusa's army soon began to surpass Palutena's army in strength. Soon a war between Palutena and Medusa began. Medusa led a surprise attack on Palutena's army, which could barely fend off the attack. Palutena's army suffered major losses and was heavily defeated in the final battle. What's more, Medusa's army took the 3 sacred treasures, the mirror shield, the arrow of light, and the wings of Pegasus, away from them. Almost all of the warriors in Palutena's army were turned into stone statues, and Palutena herself was imprisoned deep in the palace in the sky. The peaceful realm of Angel Land came to be inhabited by foul and terrible monsters, and was turned into a land of darkness ruled by the wicked Medusa. Locked in the depths of the palace in the sky, Palutena's strength was drained to its last. As a last resort, she sought the help of the angel youth Pit, who was being held prisoner locked in a deep dungeon in the underworld. Pit was a valiant warrior who used to be in charge of Palutena's personal bodyguards. Armed with a bow and arrow brought to him through Palutena's magical strength, Pit attempted an escape from the underworld. The guard at this time was low in number as Medusa's army had advanced to the palace in the sky. Pit succeeded in his escape and set out on his long adventure to rescue Palutena. Yet to defeat Medusa, he had to get the 3 sacred treasures. Will Pit be able to restore Palutena's light and return it to Angel Land? Only you can answer that question. The manual then has a guide of how the game functions and what items are available in the game. Then there's a list of enemies that reads, Introducing the inhabitants in Angel Land. As Pit proceeds through Angel Land, he'll come up against lots of monsters. Stage 1, Underworld. Kobil, the little devils of Angel Land that are hostile towards angels. They cannot fly even though they have wings. Comilus, a monster that lives deep in the earth. It has strong jumping power. It has eyes that can see in the dark and does not let those who enter its territory get away. Mikgu, a blob of magma that lives in the ground. It's been given the soul of Medusa. It seeps out of the ground at Pit's feet. Ganymede, evolved from a monowai. It's a floating life form that builds its nest in fortresses. It stands guard over the fortress with its enormous eye. Watch out for its feelers, they are its weapons. Monowai, a one-eyed ghostly plasma. It flies through the air past Pit in groups. If one of them touches Pit, then Pit becomes paralyzed and some of his strength is absorbed. Nettler, a one-eyed slug. It looks stupid, but watch out. It's got sharp reflexes and returns Pit's arrows. Twin Bellows, the gatekeeper of the underworld fortress. A devil dog with 2 heads. Its body is wrapped in fire and spits out bullets of magma energy. Stage 2, Overworld. Chiron, a frog that was given wings by Medusa. It's a strong jumper and quickly flies at its enemies. Shalm, a really gloomy creature that lives in dark, wet places in the fortresses. It gives out really poisonous spores from its body and robs its enemies of lives. Pluton, a robbing ogre. Watch him, he's crafty. Touch him and he steals one of your possessions. Pit's arrows don't work against him. He's so stingy. He sells what he's stolen to the black marketeer. Minos, a porcupine monster. It fills its body up with air like a balloon and flies around. Its big eyes can see invaders far off. Mick, big brother to Monowai. It flies around and gobbles up every kind of living creature in its enormous mouth, a real pig. Tamambo, a brass ball. It's been given the soul of Medusa. It flies and gets in Pit's way. It also gets a hold of things and cuts through them with its razor-sharp teeth. Rockman, a rock life form. It falls suddenly out of the blue onto Pit's head. Its body is very hard, so Pit will receive a lot of damage if it drops on him. Girin, a giant ant that lives deep in the ground and lies in wait for Pit. Once it catches things in its big jaws, it never lets them get away. Snowman, the abominable snowman of Angel Land. Its body is made of ice and likes cold places. A proud creature, it hurls ice to protect its territory. Hudraw, the gatekeeper of the overworld fortress. It suddenly lurches out of the water to attack Pit. Its body is like a smooth snake. It's a powerful enemy and difficult to defeat. Stage 3, Sky World. Holer. Holer is the god of plants, a cactus creature that grows in the cloud garden in the sky. It does not forgive those who enter the garden. Tros. The fortress guard creature. It attacks with thorns that get shorter and longer. Its metallic body is extremely durable, and it is a difficult creature to defeat. Colin, the warrior who used to fight in Palutena's army. Its spirit was taken away by Medusa. It has no fighting power of its own, though Eel Eyes leaps out of its body. Octos, an octopus creature that eats on the clouds in the sky to keep alive. Violent and very irritable, it appears suddenly beneath Pit. Kometo, a mysterious floating creature. Nobody knows where it came from. One theory has it that it came from a planet other than the Earth. It's a nasty jellyfish monster. Pluton Fly, a flying robber, a real baddie who goes around trying to steal Pit's weapons. Pit's arrows are useless against it. Eel Eye, the poisonous worm that lives in Colin's body. In spite of its puny body, it has a huge eye and 2 feathers. Body checks are its special way of attacking. Uranos, the god of the sky who betrayed Palutena and went over to Medusa's side. Watch out, he has terrible fighting power and a habit of lurking around inside the fortress. Keepa, a creature evolved from the Kobil. Only one of its type flies around and attacks Pit. It hasn't got that much fighting power. Pandora, the gatekeeper of the Skyworld Fortress, a demon god who administers all disasters. Blowing out bubbles, it has the power to warp when you least expect it. Stage 4, Palace in the Sky. Thanatos, a snake that lives in Medusa's hair. Thanatos means death in Greek. It's really strong and powerful. Siren, the wicked creature of legend. If Pit is caught unaware by her beautiful female form, she'll attack Pit with the steely claws on her feet. Moila, a flying starfish. It catches its enemies using its 4 legs and starts eating them. Moilas usually go around in groups. Totem, a pillar in the palace in the sky turned into a monster by Medusa. They fall down from the ceiling and pile up on each other. Daphne, a flower that blooms in the palace in the sky. It has been taken over by an evil spirit. It flaps its leaves to fly, and its 4 petals are tipped with poisonous thorns. Erinus, the god of revenge in Greek legend. It will not forgive those who have entered the palace in the sky. It is said that no one has seen it and lived to tell the tale. Zuri, an evil ghost brought in by Medusa to guard the palace in the sky. They roam around in groups, yet they have little fighting power. Nevertheless, don't let them catch Pit unaware. Make sure that Pit finishes them all off. All stages. Monolith. This is Pit's opponent in the sacred training chamber. This is an iron plate that used to be used for training Palutena's warriors. Watch out, it falls down towards Pit. Eggplant Wizard, an inhabitant of the fortresses. It places a spell on Pit to turn him into an eggplant. In order to break the spell, Pit must go to the fortress hospital. Shemum lives in the snake pit, an evolved snake monster with wings. Watch out, it's extremely dangerous. In spite of looking small, its fangs are filled with a powerful, nasty poison. It often roams around in groups. Specknose, an inhabitant of the enemy's nest. A real coward, it hates brightly lit places. However, it'll jump out real fast once it's spotted Pit. Reaper and Reapette, entrusted by Medusa as a lookout. It waves its sickle around when it spotted Pit and starts chasing him. It calls Reapette by telepathy. Centurion, a warrior in Palutena's army who was turned into a stone statue by Medusa's spell. The spell can be broken by tapping the statue with a mallet. He's a friend who'll help Pit defeat the fortress gatekeepers. Medusa, the big evil gatekeeper who has occupied the palace in the sky. The goddess who was turned into an ugly monster by Palutena. She does all she can to be evil and nasty. Palutena, the goddess of light. She used to be the highest of the gods in Angel Land, but is now held prisoner by Medusa. The source of her power, the 3 sacred treasures, were stolen away from her by Medusa. That is the backstory and list of enemies as shown in the game's manual. With that read, it's time to play the game for ourselves. And here we are in the game. This is Kid Icarus. As you can see, copyright 1986 by Nintendo, like we talked about. Before we get into the game, a little bit of house cleaning. I am going to be playing the original North American version of the game, which does have some slight differences to the original Japanese version of the game. I am told that this version doesn't have as good of a music soundtrack, so I'll be trying to play some of those in the modern review section of the game. There's also a different ending in this version of the game compared to the original Japanese version. I wasn't going to be getting the worst ending no matter what game I was playing, so I probably wouldn't have shown that off. We're going to have to show off all the endings kind of in that modern review section as well. I am told that there are also some hidden calculations that are a little bit different in this version compared to the original Japanese version, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal at the end. It's just kind of, there's a whole hidden mechanic that the game doesn't fully talk about. Alright, so those are kind of the main differences. Also in the Japanese version you can save, and in this one you have a password system instead. It kind of functions the same, it's just a little bit different logistically. In terms of my skill, I have very little. I have tried to practice a little bit in this game, but I haven't made it very far. The game is difficult to start, and that's what people say. It's actually most difficult at the beginning, so we're going to try to keep that in mind as I keep going. I'm going to be using save state in lieu of me trying to do the same thing 20-30 times just to make it through. So that's going to be what we're going to try to do. Let's try to get through the game and see if we can't have fun. And I'll try to explain what I've learned through my research of the game as we move forward. So let's go ahead and start. And once again, I don't have a password, so we're going to start here. All right, I'm going to immediately drop a save. All right, so here is Pit. Pit is, you know, pretty standard for a side scroller here. You can run, you can jump, well, you can move, you can't really run. You can jump, and you can fire your arrows. Now, you might notice I'm being a little cautious with my arrows. That is because the hidden mechanic of the game, there's 4, then I can get them. The hidden mechanic of the game is that, like, every time you get a hit, you gain points, and every time you miss, you lose points. Like I said, it's kind of weird, and it doesn't show anywhere. There's no point on the screen, right, except for the number of hearts that I have and my strength, which is essentially my health. There's a door here, you can go into it, but this is when I started realizing, oh, there's something here that I don't understand. Why is it empty? And the reason that it's empty is that this is not for a first time through. That is for if you beat the game and come through the game again, then there'll be something in there for you, I am told. I've never done that, obviously. Haven't played the game. All right, we're going to keep going. I'm going to, you know, kill enemies as they come. And they will respawn, but I basically need to do some farming of hearts. So, yeah, you'll get like 3-4 spawns sometimes. And then we can get all of our stuff. And I think this is a good spot for me to drop another save before we move on. Yeah, before we move on to these guys. All right, so we're going to face up. No, we're going to face right. All right, I got hit, I believe, once. I don't know if you caught it, but they drop half hearts, which will give you 5 hearts every time you pick it up. All right. Not too bad. All right, and then we have a lyre here, a harp, I think sometimes it's called. This will give us mallet. Do not fall. Falling is instant death, and then you have to start over. All right, I didn't get as many mallets as I would like. I can hit the start button here, and I got 5. I got 4. I would love to get like 5 or 6, but 4 will do. We'll talk about mallets later when it's relevant and we can actually use them. For now, we take out these and try to get... We're going to need a lot of hearts, so... Killing these guys is not bad. And if I go up this side area that I kind of went through, which is the right way, then... No. There we go. Then I can get access to this door here. All right, and this is a gauntlet room, basically. I forget what they officially call it, but that's how I think of it. It's a gauntlet room. And every one of these drops a full heart, which will get you 10 hearts. We are aiming eventually for 999 hearts, and I have died. I'm finished, and just like that. And that's why we wanted to load this. All right. Like I said, notoriously difficult to start. Gets easier as you keep playing it. All right, you're gonna come my way? Okay, let's head up and see if I can't... Well, I got 1. I don't like missing shots knowing that it lowers my score, but ultimately, like, 1 missed shot's not going to be the worst thing in the world, but getting hit like that can be, as you saw. Okay, got some there. Okay, and I think I got 8. Yeah, way better. Way better. And then... Okay, got you. Might be going too slow. Especially if they keep on doing that. And I just can't hit. All right, so we go up the right way again. And eventually, we'll make it here. We'll deal with that. All right, and then I'm going to drop another save here because, well, I died here last time. And we do want to go through this kind of gauntlet room. All right, so let's hang out in... Are you serious? I can't get that? That's 10 hearts I couldn't get. All right. So the way that this room kind of starts is before... Before they kind of go into their normal pattern, they just kind of move around a ton. And... Alright, yeah, we can fall all the way to the floor there. Just can't make it to the bottom of the screen. Really? Okay. And I don't think I can actually get that. That was not smart of me. Okay. But we made it through kind of the gauntlet room and we got ourselves some hearts, so that worked out oh well. Okay. We'll keep heading up. Alright, and this is our first time actually fighting a Reaper. If he sees you, he'll summon Reapettes. I was about to say just 1? That's weird. And some people recommend farming. Farming at this point, but I don't. Spied me again. Alright. So yeah, the Reaper takes several hits, and if he sees you, he'll summon the Reapettes. And I don't believe we can do... No. Alright, well, down you go. Alright, and we'll take you out, and then we can grab the chalice, which heals 1 bar of strength for us. I'm going to drop another save here, because I believe this is a treasure room. It is. Okay, so in World 1, there's a specific way to do it every time. We can take out this one. Don't collect any treasure yet, though. Just break them. That one and that one. And if there are no mallets at that point, then it's in the bottom left, and I can open up all the rest. There's a mechanic that is present in the game, and that's how it works. Yeah? No! That's why we're going to load. So they lied to me. No, there was a mallet? I think I did. I must have done it wrong. I think I did it wrong. So let's try this again. So heart there, and then I can break 3 and 1. No mallet, which means that it should be position 7. If it's all right, there's a mallet. Then it's number 2. So nope. I was right. Okay, so this is why we test it. All right, I will get it right. So we get this one. That's 1 mallet. So it is kind of a random one every time. So 1 mallet means that it's the top right. So I should be able to open up all the rest. No problem here. And then once I get this one, we get the special item, which is a barrel. Now, barrel will hold several potions for us. That's the idea. All right, so we did solve it that time. If you do it another way, then you don't get the stuff that you're looking for. All right, so we got everything that we came for. Let me drop another save. We're going to need a lot of those. And we'll keep climbing here. And we'll eventually find where we need to go. This is actually much scarier than it looks. Platforming in the game. All right. At least there's no, like, knockback in the game. If I get hit, then I just kind of hang out. Okay. Nope. Okay, got hit again. Yeah, he saw me. Okay, down he goes. Let's go to a little bit safer spot here. Okay. Now, I believe around here somewhere... No? Oh, okay. Then I am mistaken. They must be a little bit higher. Okay, another Reaper here. Oh, there they are. Yep. Yeah. It's just more annoying than anything else because I can't really do anything. And I've gotten hit several times. Not good. Not good. This could be my doom again. Yep, can't fire fast enough. Alright, where was I? I was here. Okay. This is why we do save states, otherwise I'd have to do the whole game over. There's no checkpoint here, I don't believe. That is also instant death. Like I said, you just can't touch the bottom of the screen, or it's instant death. We're gonna do this, though. Like I said, it's scarier than it looks. Okay. There. Okay. How did that miss? What? How do you see me that second time? You gotta be so precise with that one. I should have backed off a little bit further. Yeah, I think I glitched the game out a little bit there. Entirely possible. Okay, down he goes. God, the rebats, man. They're getting to me. And then I didn't go fast enough. Alright, so now he summons them. I just avoided the toad altogether. Okay, somehow that worked. Okay. And then... Nope. Alright, so the worst part is that's where I need to do my level grinding. And I died to the first enemy. Alright, that might be where we have to stop so I can just take care of that off screen and never die, but... Well, we'll see if I can't at least make it there a little bit nicer. You know, without getting hit 10 times by the rebats. Oh, that guy's glitched out. Okay, we're over here. There we go. Not bad. Alright, I'm gonna drop the save here because that went well. Okay. How? Like, there's only so much I can do here. Oh, and if I'm between both sides like that, it won't let me shoot at all. Okay. Not far. He's got to get closer. Why am I standing right on top of him? Alright, and there. Okay. Okay, he's gone. And what do I do with you? Okay, so I can do it. It's just very precise. I'm going to avoid the toad because I just don't have enough arrows to deal with him. Okay, can't get that. One hit might be good, but like I said, at this point, okay. And I got hit already. So these enemies are what I need to level grind against. So those are the ones that I'm going to get up to. I'm told I need to get up to 999 hearts with them in order to get the mechanic the way that I want. All right. Nope. Out of position there. These guys are just more annoying. Okay, you know what? I will take care of that off screen. I will... let's pause. So I'm going to go ahead and kill both of these guys, head up top, and start level grinding those guys that come out of the ground. What I'm supposed to do is when they come up, fire an arrow at them, then duck under their shot. That's the way that it's supposed to happen, but since I'm not particularly good, you can see my score is not great so far, 8,200. It's going to take me some time and some practice, and I'm hoping that on the other side of it, I'll be ready to go basically for the rest of the game. Once I think 1-3 is considered the hardest level, and we're in 1-1 still, so it's going to take me some time, but I'm going to take care of that off screen. That's going to do it for this part of Kid Icarus. I've been ballerscuba. I've been joined as always by Pit, and this has been Video Games Over Time. I hope you laughed, I hope you learned, and I hope to see you next time for more Kid Icarus. Thanks for watching.